Okay guys, it is currently 3:50 a.m. in the morning, and as much as you know and I know that this is very suboptimal, I'm consistent on the old YouTube game, and I know that if I don't keep relevant and I don't keep consistent with uploads, I'm not going to progress in many ways. However, this is my third and last depletion session before the BMBF slash DFAC Grand Prix. So last and final depletion session before taking 3 full days off. So this just means that this is my last and final day of 0 carbs, and then we'll be taking 3 days off. And then what we'll be doing is we will be carbing up, water loading, and then pulling water prior to the show to be able to peak. We're in for arms only, plain and simple. It's about 7 a.m. in the morning when I'm in here training arms, so I'm just getting the elbows, the triceps, the biceps, the actual joints warmed up more than anything else because it is very early in the morning. Began with 10 minutes of steps to be able to elevate the heart rate, get a little bit warmer, and then of course we obviously began with some single arm preachers, overhead extensions and push downs prior to the first initial main movement being the weighted tricep dip, which I have not done for quite some time and genuinely did surprise me by the end. But this is also a very quick and effective and easy kind of 4 triceps, 4 biceps workout that if you want to be able to give a shot, absolutely do it, which is why I've kept this video pretty short to be able to provide value, but also showcase to you guys that not much goes on and we try and just keep things as much of an in and out job as we possibly can. But last and final warm-up was obviously 2 plates, felt incredible, so I thought, you know something, let's just see what body weight plus 60 kilograms can see, and I genuinely shocked myself by taking 8 reps, one because of how early it was in the morning, fasted, and at the same time, 3rd day of depletion on no food, obviously around 50, almost 60 pounds down in body weight maybe, a couple of days out from a show. I was genuinely shocked at this one, but that was a really big step for me to be able to take there. Now, on the back off, again, same as that. Like 40 kilograms, obviously on top of body weight. I took this, I think it was around 14 or 15 reps I took here, which again, I was super shocked with, super happy with, especially on this deplete day, and being first thing in the morning. You guys know I always train around 2 p.m, but just because it was deplete, I wanted to be able to get in, just get my steps done, get my last and final depletion session out of the way so I could chill for the rest of the day. Obviously, with it being 0 carbs, I didn't want to go through the full day and just kind of kill myself and still have to train arms. But aside from that, we moved from tricep dips onto a good old close grip tricep Smith machine press. Now, the goal for me here is just keeping my rep ranges above 8 reps on every single warm-up, every single working set. Exact same goes for any other movement, because being on deplete, I'm not looking for any world records. No silly reppers, no crazy 50-50 reppers or anything like that. We're just looking to be able to get in, be safe, get the job done and get back out. That is what these sessions are all about. It's not a case of being a couple of days out and absolutely trying to end myself in the gym with 50-50 and partial reps and trying to go past failure, when the goal is actually to be able to drop fatigue and rebuild that recovery prior to the show. So we were able to take up to a nice couple of sets of 2 plates aside. Again, main focus, not allowing them elbows to drive out the way, because the second that you allow your elbows to drive out on a close grip press, it ultimately just becomes a chest press, and to be fair, probably a little bit of shoulders in there as well, which is very suboptimal for the triceps themselves. Now, single arm fat grip dumbbell alternating curls here. So I chose the fat grips just to be able to change it up a little bit. You guys don't need to use fat grips, but it just allows for me to change it up here and not really focus on any weight whatsoever. It took up to around 17.5, which again, I'm looking for 10 reps each side every single time, up till a very hard 10 reps either side. But again, like I say very hard. I'm not looking for it to be complete failure. I'm looking to be able to ensure that I know that I'm as safe as possible, as supported as possible, and to be able to just try and fill the bicep up with as much blood as I possibly could. Tricep overhead extensions next. So actual working sets this time. Very big fan of this Atlantis tricep overhead extension machine. So it's one I always do put in whenever I do actually prioritize my triceps during any sort of session. So it's definitely one I would always say, and especially for you guys, always include a variety of push downs, of presses, of overhead extensions when you're training your triceps, because you have to take on board there's a lot of heads to be working, and you obviously don't want to overcomplicate it, but I always just say include a variety. That is the only thing that matters. If you can include a variety, if you can train as hard as you possibly can, you're going to be grand. right here, looking in the mirror, contemplating life, because I just feel pretty horrendous by this point on prep. But it is what it is. We're on day 3 of deplete. We're a few days out. We're almost there. Barbell curls next for the good old biceps. Very big fan of this one as well. Going between an EZ bar and an actual straight bar is something else that I couldn't suggest enough for you, whether you work with cables or you work with actual barbells. But this one felt incredible. Having a little sip here of the good old Strength Shop jug filled with, as you can tell, Hydro EAA, because electrolytes are very important, especially first thing in the morning. If you're a fasted trainer, something I couldn't suggest enough, electrolytes and potentially even a carbohydrate intra-workout if you are going to be going in without any food whatsoever. Again, on top of that, if you're going to be training fasted, something that I couldn't suggest enough would be a slow digesting carbohydrate meal prior to you going to bed, just so you're not fully empty by the time that session comes in the morning. But I would still suggest having an intra-workout for sure. Tricep pushdowns next. Again, just keeping it plain and simple. I actually done a couple of drop sets on here just because I didn't want to take it too extremely heavy and put too much force and negative pressure through the joints. So what I chose to do was complete a set of between 12 and 15 reps, drop it again, and just really burn the absolute most out of my triceps that I possibly could. And I've done that for definitely the hardest part for me, the depletion days, moving into the 3 days off prior to the competition, because I'm so used to them 5, 6, 7 day weeks, and this is definitely the hardest part for me mentally of prep all in, because taking this sort of time off is not easy, guys. Not when you rely on training, not when you're used to really giving out them endorphins every single day, just going to war in training. It's one of the hardest things ever to take that time off. But I have to always try and remember, and something that you have to remember as well, that sometimes doing more is not always going to provide more. You have to take on board that when you're removing fatigue, when you're resting up, that's what's going to bring out your physique to the best of its actual strengths and abilities. So sometimes it's definitely worth that time to be able to recover, but it's mentally the hardest thing ever. Don't know how much longer I can do it, but the last and final deplete session is done. Arms is done. Now we move on to the finals. Hope you were able to enjoy this one. If you were, don't forget to drop the video a like for me as always, guys. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new about here, and we'll just catch up with you all in the next video.